So, as you may know, I spend most of my Sundays fishing Heron Lake at Ivy House. And now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give you almost a peg by peg analysis. Now the reason why I say almost is because I haven't fished every peg, so I can't give you an honest opinion on how to fish every single peg, yeah? So here's a lake. And here's peg one. And peg one, to be honest with you, is not normally ever in. Yeah, so it's 24 pegs. And then Andy, what he does is, well, and Karen, is they just put 20 pegs in. They just leave 4 corner pegs out to give anglers more room. Last thing we want to do is, like, you know, anglers like conflicting in areas. So walking around the lake, all gravelled. You do want a trolley, it's a short walk. I mean, there's the car park, all secure, happy days. And literally, you know, the walk's not very far. Loads of fish in here, there really is. So what Andy's done as well is they put like a, automatically put like a bump bar for you. So you keep nets to be there at the peg, and literally when you arrive, the nets will actually be in the water ready for you to go. So happy days, and they're checked as well to make sure there's no holes in them. Alright, now I don't know if you can see, but the pegs are all marked, so it's clear where you cast, no ifs, buts or maybes. Yeah, now peg 2, you can just about get into the shallow water at 16 metres. A lot of the fish, especially sort of like winter time, seem to hold on the shelves. I mean, at the moment, like peg 2 is brilliant because you've got a little bit of room, you catch down the edge, because the next peg normally in a match is peg 24. So good edge peg, without a doubt. Ryan Ship done really well fishing shallow as well in the festival. I think he had almost 160 pounds. So definitely a decent area. Wow, to be honest, they're all good this time of year. And then moving to peg 3, I never fished this peg, but you can see the island's just that little bit further away. So I'm not sure if you can get into the shallow water here. I think you can at 16 metres. Peg 4's in. So if I drew this peg in a match, then I'd be looking to catch shallow on the pole, to be honest with you. If it's fishing hard, then maybe fish a little tiny method feeder, and I'd still feed the edge like with slop, but you've got to be realistic, you're only catching spells on it, and then hopefully the last hour would be really good. So short, slop, and then slop down here, happy days. That's how I would fish it. And the same with peg 4. I've never drawn this peg, but 4's decent because 5's not in, because it's on a corner. So Des Ship done a good weight on the method feeder here, won the match. And then there was a private match on the Friday, and one of the lads won the match just catching down the edge. So happy days, loads of fish topping. So as we said, peg 5's not in. And then we walk round to peg 6, which I recently won a match off. So happy days. Actually last Sunday's match. And I've just caught down the edge basically, and on a top kit +1, so I fished like 4 metres, and then I've just literally just caught down the edge on slop and maggots. Couldn't be any easier, to be honest. 6 is a bit of a weird one. You can't quite get in that shallow water, and I guess yeah, it's a bit of a funny peg, but this time of year I take it because again you've got a bit of room. So the matches on Sundays at the moment are always sellouts, so 20 people. So if I could have 6 every week, I'd be happy, but just because you've got that little bit of room, and it's better for down the edge. Suits my sort of style of fishing. And then peg 7, lovely peg, good feeder peg, same as 8. Vince Brown had a good weight in the festival fishing a method feeder, and I believe Jamie Dixie done the same. So there's your peg 8, and here's your peg 9, which is a very good peg, especially in the winter. Fish tend to just sit in the bay sometimes to catch like bigger F1s and stuff. You got peg 10 next to it. You might think, oh gosh, that's quite close, but because the way the pegs are angled, then you don't actually conflict with each other. So happy days. So there's 10. peg 11. Had this a couple of Sundays ago and had 130 pounds. Nice again, caught down the edge, to be honest. We started off long, just about to start getting to that shallow water at 16 meters. It's normally, one class is an M peg, but 12's not in, so again you just got that little bit of room, which does make a difference. So I've caught really well, 5 meters down the edge again on slop and maggots. You could do slop and pellets, but I think you just get better bites with maggots and you can fish like quite aggressive rigs. So there's 12, look, 12's not normally in. Then you got peg 13. Now 13, I've drawn it a few times, just seems to have an awful lot of carp in here. But I haven't caught so many F1s. I'm not saying there aren't lots of F1s in this area, but for my experience, I would say that you tend to catch a lot more sort of like carp in this sort of area. Again, it's good because you've got that empty peg, so it just helps. A lot of people catch on the feeder here, nice short chuck. Same as like 14. Drawn 14 a few times as well. So some lads just fish the feeder, like Alan Orman does really well on the feeder here. Just tends to catch like bigger stamp as well. So you know, you've just fished to your strengths really, fish what you enjoy doing. And that's normally like the setup you get. So happy days, look, right to your peg, 3 nets in the water, your landing net's there, so no need to bring your nets. So obviously he and Karen's protecting their fishery. And also there's quite a few ghost carp in here, about £3. Andy thinks there's about 400 roughly. So there's not like millions of get out of jail fish, but there are obviously a bigger stamp. So there's peg 16. And there we go, peg 17. I've drawn this a few times, twice I think, and again you can get up into the shallow water. You're just off that far bank with a pole, 16 meters. But again, it's great because 18's not normally in, so therefore again you've got that little bit of room to catch down that edge. So yeah, lovely. And here we go, peg 19. I've never drawn this peg, so I can't really comment. Peg 20, I drew it ages ago. You got to fish on a bit of an angle, but you get up into the shallow water, so lovely peg. And for whatever reason, there is a massive ball of F1s, it looks like. I don't know if you can see that. Peg 21, arguably the best peg on the lake. Don't ask you why, just you always seem to catch ghost carp here. It seems to shelve up 16 meters, lovely. It's only about 2 foot deep at the moment. You see the water level's a little bit low. So yeah, I drew this recently, and you do seem to catch more bigger fish. In the winter, for whatever reason, they seem to sit on this peg a little bit, so happy days. And then you got peg 22, again a good area. All the 20s seem to be pretty good, like 20, 21, 22, 23 and 24. 24 been in like an M peg. So there we go, look, there's all the pegs for you. All the nets are good quality, some map nets, so happy days. And there's peg 24. So you got to chuck slightly to your right there if you do decide to chuck the feeder, but again, peg 1's normally never in, so you got that little bit of room. Next peg 2 is like 2. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed it, hope it's helped you.